Yo, what's up guys? Today I'll be showing you how to make hyperpop vocals in FL Studio. This tutorial is for complete beginners. So, you probably don't know how to make beats if you're a complete beginner, so I won't be going over that today. Instead we're gonna look for a beat on YouTube. So when you're looking for a beat, you're gonna have to think about what kind of music you wanna make. So let's say you wanna sound like Glaive. For example, you can literally just search for Glaive type beat and you will get lots of random beats. There aren't always type beats for some artists. Some aren't that big yet, so if that's the case, you can always just figure out which genre it is the artist is making, and for that genre you can just search, for example, hyperpunk type beat. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for today. I usually make hyperpunk, that's what I'm most comfortable with. I'm gonna look, see what I can find, and I'll cut to when I find a beat I like. Okay, so I found a beat I liked here, hyperpunk type beat. It sounds like this. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna open up a website, and it's this website. It's a YouTube to MP3 converter. MP3 is basically just a file you can drag into FL so you can hear your beat. So I'm gonna copy paste this link here and convert it. This link will be in the description of this video. And when you're copy pasting your beat, you can just press download and it'll download to your downloaded files on your Explorer. I do want to mention that if you actually want to release the song later on, most producers would usually require you to actually buy the beat. So you can download the beat and experiment in FL Studio with it, but if you want to release it, then you're gonna have to purchase the beat. And if that sounds confusing, I'll put a video down in the description by a person named Gunner. He made a good video on the whole free for profit thing that beat producers use. I suggest you would go and watch it if you don't know anything about it. But anyways, when you download the beat you want, you're gonna have to drag the MP3 file here, or just wherever you can drag it in here, it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna hold left click on it and put it top left. Now I'm gonna double click on it and you'll get this box up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll hold down left click on this track button and drag it to 1. You can see I can drag it to track 70 if I want to, but I'm gonna drag it to 1. And now I'm gonna double click on this. So now I open the mixer track state. If you wanna open it without doing this whole process, it's this button. Or you can also just press F9. So now that you're in here on track 1, I wanna mark that this is my beat. So I'm gonna right click on it. I'm gonna change color and just red or something, or brown, like, it doesn't matter too much. So if you don't know what the mixer track state is, actually, this is where you mix and master, this is where you put all your effects and so on. And since most of you probably are completely new, you probably don't know how to mix, and for that reason I would, when you record your vocals, I would recommend using presets. There are a lot of people who sell presets for $5 or more, but there are also lots of free presets out there. There's a channel called Jonas Shows You How to Make Music. I can put a link in the description to his channel. He gives away all his presets for free, and the mix is really solid on all of them. I definitely recommend checking him out. So I got my folder here with all my presets, and I'm gonna find one of his presets here, and I'm gonna drag it to track 5 here. And as you can see to the right here, a lot of plugins loaded in here. If I were to mute my mic on OBS and put it in 1 here, you would hear me with all my effects on, like this. So this is with all the effects on. You can see it with the reverb and everything. And now I'm gonna go back to my normal voice. So now I'm back to my normal voice. I'll go over in later on what you should pick here and how to record vocals. Now if you were to use Jonas presets or anything, you might not have this autotune. Everything else is stock plugin. You should have it if you have FL Studio, but this is autotune, Antares Autotune, which is a paid plugin. You can easily crack it, but you can also just use Patcher. Patcher is not really good in my opinion, but if you want to stay safe and not crack anything, you can always just use it. Not Patcher, what's it called? Pitcher. I mean, if you don't want to use like cracked plugins and stuff, you can always just use Pitcher. It's the same stuff essentially. I just don't think it doesn't work as good as the Antares Autotune, or not as user friendly, but it works the same. Now if you're using an Autotune, so me, I usually use Autotune Pro, you're gonna want to have it in the right key. Now I use a plugin to find the right key, and it's called Auto Key. So this finds the key of the beat automatically. So if I were to put on the beat, it will start listening after the key. And as you can see here, it finds the key. I can send it to Autotune, and now it's in the right scale. You can also choose input type. I usually go with low male, and then I can adjust the settings like I want to. Of course not everyone has auto key, then I can recommend TuneBat. It's a website. You can use it, it's for free, everyone can use it. It's a great way to find the key. I've never used it personally, but you can use it if you don't have auto key or anything like that. So now I'm gonna drag in my recording preset. These are just some simple effects for when I record. You don't really need this. I just use it to clean up some background noises that I have in my room and so on. Some people record on an empty track and then put the preset on, which is, in my opinion, the smartest, because then you can make changes to the mix after you've recorded it. So if I were to record on this one now, I could, I'll show you an example. So if I record on this one right now, and put it on track 5. Hello. Any changes I would make now, like if I wanted to add 100% reverb, hello, then it would add it to the mix right away. Because some people record on the preset. So if I were to record right now, hello. Now if I make any changes to the mix right here, it won't change this because it's already effects on. Hello. So that would be there forever. So personally, record with an empty track or a recording preset and then put on the effects after. So whatever you're gonna record on, you have to make sure that you click this button up here and click in one. Well, actually it's not gonna be in one for all people, it might be different for some, but just try them all. And when you can hear yourself on both sides, then it's working fine. So for me, it's in one. One thing I'd recommend is going to audio settings, and then click on this button, buffer length, and make sure your buffer length is at the lowest. When you've done that and you've clicked the right setting here, you can close the mixing track setting and click this little circle up here. And there should be a box that comes up. It's not doing that for me because I pressed, so it's not gonna show up, but when you get this box, you're gonna press audio into the playlist of an audio clip. And when you've clicked that, you can, I think it starts recording by itself. You can press space to stop the recording and press space to start the recording. So I'm gonna make some vocal takes to give you a quick example. So for example, if you record a thing here, I just recorded something simple. You can double click on it and this box come up and you can drag this. Now I put my preset on track 5, so I'm gonna drag to track 5 as you can see here. And now your preset should be on your vocal. So, like this. I don't think. So yeah, now I'm gonna go into more what makes a hyperpop song unique compared to other genres. I'm gonna open one of my projects that I have with this beat to make showing things a little bit easier. Now I know this might look a little bit overwhelming, but I'll break everything down slowly. In hyperpop and many other genres, people usually use layers to make the song sound more full. And this is a great technique to really fill the song. So in my case I have 4 layers. I have one main which is centered, which is this one, and one that is panned to the left, which is this one, and one that is panned to the right. I also have this choir layer, which I'll go into more detail later on. So this first layer is a preset I'm using from Yona, which I mentioned earlier, and I've barely tweaked it, and it sounds like this.
I don't think I can love you. Don't think I can trust you. My heart's been broke so many times. One more time and I might die.
So, as you can hear, it doesn't sound crazy good by itself. The mix is good, but my voice just isn't getting there with one layer. This is why I added 2 layers pan to the left and 1 to the right, and that brings the vocals forward way more. And that sounds like this.
I don't think I can love you. I don't think I can trust you. My heart's been broke so many times. One more time and I might die.
So it sounds really clean. And by the way, I cannot sing for shit. This is what it all sounds like without any effects. It sounds so ridiculously bad.
I don't think I can love you. I don't think I can trust you.
So as you can hear, presets can really save your voice. I definitely recommend getting some if you can. Then of course down here I added this choir layer. Now I will play the track, and if you listen closely there's a little bit of difference. I felt the vocals still needed to be a bit more full, so I added this plugin called Avox Choir, and it's another Antares plugin. It's basically a plugin that makes your vocals sound like 16 takes, and it makes the track more full. Now if you listen carefully you might hear a slight difference. Just gotta turn this down a little bit.
I don't think I can love you. I don't think I can trust you. My heart's been broke so many times.
So yeah, not the biggest difference, but in the end it really fills the track and makes it sound so more full. Now in some hyperpop songs they use vocal chops. I don't really do that much in my songs, but I'll show you how I made some vocal chops for one of my old songs. So what I did here is I recorded a bar here.
I don't wanna talk with you.
And I took the first word here and I just used this slice tool here. I cut the first word or whatever, and then I used this select tool and I pressed Ctrl B to copy paste, and then it's all about like playing around a little bit and then just lining up right. So much like that, and then you want to make these tracks unique from this one. So I click on this little thing right here on top left of this box and make unique, because what I made here is I panned this one 70% to the left and this one 70% to the right, so I got this cool left to right effect before the bar.
I don't wanna talk.
So another common thing in hyperpop is pitching up the vocals. This is very easy to do, and I'll show you several ways to do it right here. So what I usually do is I press this little button on my master track and press Alt R and then start. This will render the full song in the project, and it's gonna come up somewhere in the project. In my case it was right here. So I'm gonna right click on this and then I can double click on it. Now I'll get this option. I can pitch it from anywhere from 0 to 200 before it locks, and I'm gonna pitch it up 100 cents for me personally, because I've already listened to it. I think 100 cents sounded the best with mine. Now of course you don't have to pitch it up 100 cents. Most hyperpop artists usually pitch it up by around 50 to 100. This is how it sounds before and after I pitch it up 100 cents.
I don't think I can love you. I don't think I can trust you. I don't think I can love you. I don't think I can trust you.
Another thing you can do is press file and then export and then WAV file or MP3 file. A WAV file is better quality but bigger file size. When you get your file, you can drag it in like you did with your beat. It will come up like this. You can just double click it, pitch it up the same way I did here. Now in those two methods they obviously pitch up the beat as well. And some artists don't pitch their vocals that way. For example Blixty and Mental. I'll show you how they do it right now. As you can see on this beat I pitch it down 200 cents and then recorded my vocals over it. This means that if I were to render it right now and pitch it up 200 cents, the beat would be in normal pitch, but my vocals would be pitched up by 200 cents. Now this song is shit, so ignore that, but normally it would sound like this.
I don't wanna be alive no more. Put a gun to my head and count to 4.
But instead, it sounds like this.
I don't wanna be alive no more. Put a gun to my head and count to 4.
Yeah, as you can hear, my vocals aren't the best here, but you get the point. You can use that method if you wanna keep the beat normal, but pitch your vocals. I think I'll wrap the video up about here. These are just the basics of Hyperpop, and I can get into some more advanced stuff if people want it. I thought I'd just make the video because I know that it would be nice to have this when I was a beginner. But thanks for watching, good luck with making music, and goodbye.